Hi everyone, it's Helen here. Thank you so much for joining me for today's tutorial. So today we are going to be putting together the Ferris Wheel die set from my brand new collection, Fairground Attraction. This is going to be absolutely stunning and you're probably going to need a good Sunday afternoon to pop this together. You'll also be needing a hot glue gun for this one and also some paper straws, but if you don't have paper straws, we do have one of the elements that you can switch out for the paper straws instead, which would be this die here. So let's jump straight in. We're going to be making the base first. So I'm going to be going through the cutting guide as we go along for each piece that we assemble. So we're going to be starting off with the base, which is the triangular part. So you are going to be needing 6 of these. I've got 3 here for my first triangle, and then I have my second triangle already made. By triangle I mean the base of the actual Ferris wheel. This is super sturdy and strong once it's popped together. It shouldn't like swing or be flimsy or anything like that. It's going to be proper sturdy. So this is the die here, and then we're just going to pop these together. So cut yourself 3 of those, and the cardstock that I'm using is the adorable Scoreable from Hunky Dory. So this does all of the score lines for you. So fold all of those over, use a bone folder to get some really crisp lines, and then I will show you the next step. Okay, so this has got a slight sheen to it, so it is going to take a little bit longer for my glue to dry for today's demo. So I will be probably using a little bit of red tape as well, but we should be fine for this stage. So I'm just going to add some glue. I'm going to be sticking with my bookbinding glue. I love this stuff, and everything is listed down below in the description box. And so I'm just adding glue to this long flap here. It's actually the shortest flap on the end here. So you have your tab here on the left, and you're doing the tab on the right with the glue. Okay, so all we have to do now is just roll this up, and this is a very similar technique that we would be using here if we were making a shadow frame. So it's very similar to that. So I'm just pressing that down now. I know this can take a little bit more extra time to dry, but if you're using ordinary cardstock, definitely it'll be really sturdy if you use 300 GSM, but even if you use 220 or something like that, it should be all right. If it's a matte cardstock and not shiny like this one here, you should be good, and this will dry pretty fast on that. Okay, so I've got my 3 bits here, and I'm now going to jump over now to my hot glue. Just going to double check to see if it's ready. Yes, it is. So I'm using the Sizzix one here, and all we're going to do is we're going to join these together all in the same orientation and pop those in there like that, so we can have a really long line. And do not cover the score line on this tab here, it needs to be visible. So I'm just going to add a bit of hot glue just here to that tab, turn everything over and pop that in. And I still have a very slight amount of time here for wiggle room, so I'm pulling that out slightly. I do know that because these bend further than the 90 degrees, I just want to have a really good distance or a space there with the score line on show. So let's do the same on this one. Turn that over again and pop that in. Turn over again. This hot glue makes it so much easier, and I'm just going to pull that out slightly, and then I can press that down. Same for this one here, that should have set already. So we're going to bend these around now. So these need to kind of tuck inside these sharper diagonal lines. This one isn't much of a diagonal compared to this one. These fit inside there like that. And you can, if you want, add more glue inside there. Okay, and then for our last one, we are just going to add a little bit of glue. Oh, I didn't fold that one down. There we go. Just going to add a little bit of glue here. Hot glue will be the best technique for this stage of the project. I will be using it quite a lot to help put things together. So make sure your 2 bits there are tucked inside, and then press those together. There we go, and that is our triangle done. Okay, so you should make 2 of these. Right, so next up we're going to making these little triangle beams here. As you can see, it's a little triangle there, and this is the die you need to use for that. It's this one just here, so you need to do 2 of those, and I'm colour matching it to the colour of my triangle because it's going to all be joined together. So I've done my first triangle, so all you have to do is just fold these score lines. My cardstock was particularly thick, so I did just go in and reinforce the score lines again with my scoreboard. You might not need to do that if you use a thinner cardstock, because mine is coated and it's quite thick, then I'm just going to reinforce those straight lines, which is really easy to do because the lines are straight. So, and I'm also going to be using some hot glue just to seal this closed. So I'm just going to add just a line. I'm just going to fold this up first so the card knows what it's supposed to be doing. It does help just having a quick dry run first, not just for you but also the card. Just done a line of glue just along there, and then we're going to close this closed. I'm making up words now and sentences. So that should now all be sealed, nice and closed. Right, so now we can pop our base together. We do have some little join lines here, so I kind of want those facing inwards or outwards. So I kind of want the top bit that's going to be seen just to be visible, so that we're not seeing any of the seams anywhere. So we're just going to pop those in there. As you can see, because it's triangular shape, it's going to fit in there nicely. So I'm just going to add a bit of hot glue just inside that inside bit of the triangle, and then I'm just going to pop that on there. There we go. You should have something that now looks like that. I'm just going to do the other side. And I'm just pushing that out there so it doesn't extend past the actual triangle edge. Right, so you should have something that now looks like that. So all we have to do now is just attach it to the other side. Now, because this hot glue does dry fast, I'm just doing it one section at a time. There we go, and then the last one. And then if you don't like these ends here, you can quite easily cover those up. So this is the base for the Ferris wheel, and you can also use this base with the pirate ship, which I have just here. So we can, if you have the pirate ship die from this collection, you can attach it. It's really cool. You can attach it to the base to make your pirate ship swing. I love pirate ship rides. They're so much fun, especially if you sit on the end here or here. Yeah, you really get that flight feeling. So anyways, back to our Ferris wheel. Right, so we're going to leave this alone now. We're going to be starting to work on the actual wheel. Leave that aside. This is the die here. Now, for each one circle, you're going to need 5 of these, but I'm going to double them up. So it's going to be 10 for each side. Obviously, you have to have one this side and one at the other side. Now, I've chosen some nice pink hunky-dory cardstock here. It is white on the other side, but I am going to double them up. Once I've put the circles together, I'm going to then stick my 2 circles together, and because they're symmetrical, they will go face to face like that. So that's really handy. So these have a score line along here. Hoping you'll be able to see that little score line just there, and do not bend it, do not fold it. This is just basically where we're putting the glue to add them together. So just a quick dry run, these go across just like that, and in the center it creates a center hole. There we go. So just add your glue. along there. I'm just going to use this bookbinding glue for this one. Okay, so let's get these glued together and then I'll be back to show you the next stage. So I'm not going straight up to the score line here. Sorry, I am going up to the score line, but I'm not covering it. And you'll be able to see from your curvature whether you've kind of got it in the right place, and also the little circle that's being created down there as well. Okay, I'm just adding my last one, so I'm just going to add a bit of glue just to this loose one, and then a bit of glue to this one that's already attached. Now I can't remember if I said how many you need to cut out for this. I have a total of 20, so 10 for each side. So I'm just going to tuck this one underneath here and line that up as best I can. And then this one should fit into place. Just give it a little bit of a wiggle just to make sure it's all okay. You might be slightly off, but that's absolutely fine. There we go. And there is our first wheel done. So I'm just going to turn this over now, and then I'm going to pop this one, just glue it straight over the top, just lining everything up so that we have the pink on both sides. If you are using a cardstock that is the same all over front and back, then you should be all right, but still do double up just for the extra strength. Now for the last one, this is supposed to be tucked under there, under this bit here, but we've already glued that down, so I'm just going to trim that off. Now you can do two separate circles and try and glue them together, but you'll have better luck matching all of these gaps if you have a white inner. So this is the best way to match everything up properly. Okay, so that is our first wheel done. This is going to be the inside because I do have a good side and the patchier side that we've just done here. So this is going to be my good side, this one's going to be the inside. If I can get that to stay down. Okay, so repeat that with these pieces and then you should end up with 2 wheels. Okay, so I've got my 2 wheels here, and these will fit either side here, but we're not ready for that stage yet. We need to make our little carts that go around and attach to these little wheels here. So let's pop those aside and let's move over to making the carts. So here is the die here for the swinging carts that go around. They come with dies as well, so you can decorate these. Now for each cart you need to die cut 2. And there's a couple more dies here for decorating the umbrella. Okay, so I've got some already cut out here already, so I just need to assemble those. So I have here, they've been doubled up, so I'm going to show you exactly how I got to that stage. Okay, so I've got all my bits and bobs cut out just for one cart, and you need to make 5 of these. So I've gone for the teal and some yellow with some white accents. So have a lot of fun doing all of your little colour combinations. So let's add the mats over here because we don't need those just yet. So we have here 2 sides, just a quick dry run. These overlap at the base and that is what makes the complete cart. So I'm just going to quickly score everything. Everything's scored, so I'm just going to fold all of the score lines and then overlap those 2 with glue, and then we can decorate them with the mats and then assemble them completely. Okay, so let's get these joined together. I'm going to be sticking with the wet glue again. So I'm just going to add glue all the way over this one base here. Again, this is shiny cardstock, so it will take a little bit of extra time to dry. So I'm going to turn this one upside down and glue that directly over the top, which is actually also going to give us more of a sturdy base. Now, because this goes round in a circle, all of these cards, it would be really good if each individual card had the same weight in each one, and that means you will get a smoother turn. Right, so we now have our cart popped together almost. So let's pop on all of our little mats. We have this little trellis die here for the sides, and then we have this trapeze shaped mat here for the other sides, and that has the star element. And then we're going to add on these little umbrellas too. Okay, so I'm just popping on these little umbrella mats now with these little teardrop dies. So there's two different ways that you can pop these on. So you can pop them on with the points pointing there at the top, or you can have them spaced out differently so that they're going all the way up to the top of the umbrella like that. Oops, that kept sticking to my finger. There we go. So you can have either that one or this one. Okay, and make sure that they are glued down really well with no flappy bits loose or anything like that, because they could get caught on the inside of the wheel, because these umbrellas are going to be on the outside right up against this wheel that moves about. So you need to make sure that these are completely flat down. Okay, so let's get these now attached. Again, you can change the colours of these umbrellas so you can have something different on each one. I've just gone for a simple all the same colour. So I'm going to add some glue just around this circle here. I'm going to turn it over, add just a bit of glue just to the ends there, and I'm going to slide those little bits under and line up the hole. Make sure it's all straight and then press down. There we go. I'll do the same on the other side. One of our carts almost done. So if you wanted to make all of these ahead before a big assembly job, then just go ahead, make all of your carts all nice and flat. So let's start with this one. I am going to see how we're going to get on with the glue. I may just have to go ahead and use some hot glue or a bit of tape, because as I said before, my cardstock is shiny. Okay, I'm going to move over to the hot glue. You won't have this problem if you are using just ordinary cardstock. Okay, and here we have one of our carts ready to go, and you don't even have to attach this to the wheel. You can make a whole ton of these, pop a little straw through there and tie a bit of ribbon on the top, and you have yourself individual little carts. And wouldn't that look lovely? It's even a baby's crib, maybe without the umbrella, but you can actually turn that into a baby's crib as well. So it's going to be perfect baby shower gifts. So let's get the lid back on there, and then I'm just going to assemble all of the rest. Okay, so I forgot to say you need to keep those little stars that come out of these sections here, or if you don't use these sections, cut some little circles out. We've included a little circle die in there as well, or if you have a tiny little star punch or anything like that, it will be perfect for the next stage. So I have here all of my 5 different carts. I'm just looking for my straws. So I'm going to be using straws for this. If you don't have paper straws, you can use this. So you die cut yourself 5 of these and trim it down to 4 inches, and then pop them together to make these little triangular shapes as well. You can use that for this technique, but I prefer to use straws because they're nice and round, and it goes with the proper turning of all the circles nice and smoothly. So I'm just going to cut these down to 4 inches, so I'm going to take 3 out. I think I'll be able to get 5 out of these. So I'm just going to make a little pencil mark, and then I'm going to trim them with my scissors. Try and get that on a white bit so I can see it. Will I be able to get another one out? Nope, I will have to use 5 straws. Right, so I've got my 5 straws here, 4 inches long. I've got my little stars. So what we're going to do now is we are going to attach these straws just to dry around. We're going to have our little star there. Then we are going to attach our little straw through there on that hole. So I'm just going to add some glue. I just want to make sure my star is lined up. It would be easier if you were using a circle, but I'm using these 2 ends of the star there just to line up so I know that it's in the right place. I'm going to add a big dollop of hot glue, and I'm going to stick my straw upright, and then you do need to make sure that this is as upright as possible, because if it's even slightly bent like that, it could mean the difference between your wheel working or not. Well, working smoothly anyway, it will still work, but you want the smoothest action possible. So make sure that is as straight as possible. Now repeat the same on the other 5. Okay, you should have something that now looks like that. And now all we simply have to do is slide these carts on, or carriages. What you can do is you can bend them in slightly. That will really help with the motion once it all gets popped together. So I am going to alternate these, but because it's a rather odd number, it's a number 5, so we will have I think, is it 2 yellow carriages together. Again, I'm doing this just so that none of this kind of catches as the wheel goes round. There we have everything attached. Now what I want you to do is grab your other wheel, make sure you have it the way round that you want it, and then pop that on just like so, but we want this to be lined up as much as possible so it's kind of not skewed. So we want to line this top one up as much as possible with the wheel at the bottom. So I'm going to stand up for this one. I just need to get directly above it. Okay, so that should be all in the right place. I've just let all the holes and the straws go through the holes, but we are going to glue them closed just like that. So we are going to add extra glue just over the top here. Then I'm going to seal it with a star. I should have got my star ready. So it's quite important that you kind of don't move it left and right, that it has to be directly above the bottom bit where it's all lined up. I'm hoping that will make sense. So I'll get my star ready again. I'm not going to go all the way around, I'm going to do the opposite sides now just to make sure that this is all going together quite evenly. If you have a third pair of hands or a second pair of hands or a third hand, then you can always add the glue to the star. Just make sure that it's attached to the straw. Okay, so that should now have all set. Let's move this around and let those little carts sort themselves out. So here we go. They all dingle dangle. And it looks straight enough to me as we kind of go around. It kind of wants to move by itself. I really like that. So let's do the center post now. So if you don't have any of the straws, you can use this piece as well for the center post. It's the right length, so I'll give you the measurement for this because we're going to trim our straw down again to 5.5 inches. All of these measurements that and adjustments I've made are on the back of the packaging. It's all listed there. So 5.5. So let's do another marking. Okay, so this is going to be our center post. Now don't get carried away and just glue it straight onto here. This is the dry run. Don't glue it there because we need to put the wheel on first. If you glue that on there first, you're not going to get your wheel on. Alright, so this is where an extra pair of hands is going to become very handy. But if you're doing this by yourself, just have some patience with yourself. And just go do it step by step. So I'm just going to pop this inside the triangle. Okay, then I'm going to lift this up and then I'm going to thread that through the center wheel. So that is now on the straw, and that is what's going to attach in the ends, is what it's going to attach there to the ends there. So this is the complete dry run. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on its side. It may come out at the end there, but that was the dry run, just to show you where everything went. I'm going to add glue, hot glue, just into that inner corner, and then I'm going to press that straw in, again keeping it flush with the end there. Okay, so I've threaded that through all of the where it's supposed to go again, because it did come out, and then I'm just going to add more glue just to the other side in the inner corner, just in there. Then I'm going to get that straw, get my hand in, there we go. It has pushed some of the hot glue out, but at this point I'm not going to fight it, because I'm going to cover that up, possibly with another embellishment or a star, or it comes with some bunting, and it also comes with a Ferris wheel sign as well, so you can cover this section here with a Ferris wheel sign. There you go, as you can see, it's gone a little bit messy, but it's going to do that. So leave that to set completely. Right, give that a good 5 minutes just to harden up before you start to try and get things to spin. Okay, I believe that has now set. Turn that the right way round, and then we can spin. There we go, give it a little test. If you want to make a dry run of this, just using ordinary cardstock just to put it together, you can do, just to test it out before you try your best cardstock with it, just to get all of the techniques that I've just shown you. I just love that. Isn't that great? This is what it looks like from the side. I love that. I'm going to decorate this. It comes with bunting, 2 different types. Well, this is bunting and these are bulbs, electric lights. So that's going to look really good with the fairy lights on there. It also comes with a die here that says Ferris Wheel. That's going to look gorgeous as well. And don't forget, we also have the paper pack. So here is the paper pack. It's got pattern paper. It's going to be perfect for the entire fun fair, and it's even got little signs as well that you can add: pirate ship, carousel. There's not a Ferris wheel one, but there's so much that you can use this for the rest of the the collection. So we have these tickets that you can add on there as well to help decorate. I do have a little signpost that I made as well with the pirate ship at the bottom, so that's a lot of fun as well to do with all of those signs. You can make yourself a complete little fairground and it just looks so much fun. And wouldn't this look great as a Christmas fun fair? I really can't wait to make a Christmas fun fair version, so I'm really looking forward to that one. Okay, so this is the tutorial for the Ferris wheel. I love how this has turned out. I will be decorating and covering these little sections here as well. Just to finish that off, I will probably do the bunting, but I love how that turns. This is why it's really important to get these nice and straight, so you do get this to turn around. You will get the odd empty umbrella carriage that will want to kind of turn over like that as you do it, turn it around, but with a few treats in, that will help to balance everything out. Okay, so that is today's tutorial. Everything that I have used will be listed down below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this one, and I'll see you again in the next tutorial. Bye for now.